Terry, reflecting on the Aberdeen game, I think you said afterwards that the players were quite magnificent in that game, and you've been positive about the other games, apart from possibly Celtic. How do you take that forward into the Hibs game this weekend?
It's very easy to take forward because the way we played against Aberdeen, whilst it wasn't a classic match, I thought we more than matched them. They've hardly had any efforts on our goal, and we could and should have scored more goals than we did. So we feel we should have won the game, and we're obviously very disappointed not to have got 3 points. And there's a couple of other games in the season, early in the season, where we also feel we should have got 3 points, but didn't quite do that. So you can see the margins for victory and drawing games are very, very close and very, very tight. So we just got to apply ourselves just that extra little bit to get over the line and get those 3 points and get the victory. And I think when we do that, I think the players are desperate to do that, particularly on Saturday. When we do that, I think then our season much will take off, but the players will grow in confidence even more. And I think with the way that we do play, we're going to be more than a match for anyone.
I think it's fair to say it's been a pretty topsy-turvy SPL so far this year. We've got Hibs at second top now, and getting quite positive reviews for the side that Pat Fenlon's putting together, so it will make it a tough one for you.
Well, it'll be a good test for us to go down there. We've certainly enjoy going to Easter Road. We got a good result there last year, drew 1-1. Hibs came up here twice and beat us, so we're disappointed with that. So going into onto their ground as well as we're undefeated in a year there, so that's quite nice. But it's certainly a place that we will enjoy going. They've got a good crowd. They've got the expectation of beating us. A lot of people will see us towards the foot of the table and say, well, that's a comfortable 3 points for Hibs, but it's always the case for us. People think that we're an easy touch, and people think that we're going to just go down there and make the numbers up, but we very rarely do that, and we certainly apply ourselves well, and we want to do that on Saturday. And I think the lads, particularly the way that we didn't win the game on Saturday against Aberdeen, want to take that forward into this match against Hibs in the capital and get those 3 points.
Of course, we're looking at the midfield possibly being under a wee bit of pressure this weekend with the injuries and Owen Tudor-Jones being out. Any thoughts on how you rejig that for the weekend? Yeah,
I've got my thoughts, and I know my team, so I'm quite happy with that. But we certainly have to. That midfield section has been a bit of a concern for us this year, with Owen being suspended and Richie being out as well with his suspension. So we've not had our problems to seek there, but we've got alternatives. We've got people that can step in, and we've got I can drop Richie back in and play Billy up front, and I've got good alternatives within the squad. So we'll see how we get on, but it's not ideal. And I think last year in particular we learnt how to change things around. When we're faced with the adversity of suspensions and injuries. We've only got 5 people out for this Saturday, which is a lot less compared to last year when we had 7s and 8s. So I wouldn't say we're lucky to have 5 out. It's not nice, but you just have to get on with it and make sure that we change things around, and the players are instructed and know what they have to do. And I must say about the players in particular, any players that we've put on as substitutes, any players that have come in and stepped into the team through someone else's misfortune, have done very well and made a big impact. So that's reassuring from my point of view, that players coming in to this match on Saturday that haven't played before or whatever, I know that they'll be totally committed, and we'll step into the breach very well.
I think that team spirit and that team spirit in adversity especially has been evident to everybody who's watched you play this year. I think as an ITC fan, I remember Johnny Hayes scoring one of the great goals last year when he, to quote somebody else, picked the ball up round about Waverley Bridge and then scored. You'll be looking for more of the same of that on Saturday.
Unfortunately, Johnny's not playing for us on Saturday, but if he was to be playing, I would expect it. I think people expected it from him every game after that, but no, we've got other players that can do similar things, not quite like Johnny, but we've got other players that scored, and I think looking throughout the whole team this year, everybody's chipped in with goals and chipped in with assists as well. So we've got players that want to score, enjoy scoring, and a whole team that enjoys scoring as well. So to score in every game so far this season is quite an achievement. So the other end, where we want to cut things out a little bit better and a little bit more, and make sure that we defend a bit better and stop the opposition from scoring. But our last visit to the capital was an exciting one, when we were 2-0 down and a man down and drew 2-2 at Hearts. So it doesn't faze us going behind. It doesn't faze us going into the Lions' den, so to speak. We want to be 2-0 up at half time. That would be a nice feature for us to have, and make sure that we hold on to that lead. But that's something that we're looking forward to doing. And I know a win's going to come at some stage of the season. We want to make it on Saturday and make it as soon as possible.
I think everybody around here wants to see that happen as well. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.